The next thing we're going to say self dot underscore, and we need a weather type, and this will be equals to our JSON. And again, we are going to access our data. We're going to access the first object in our array. And then if I open this, our weather type is gonna be in our, let's see, where is it? In our weather. So our weather type is our description here, which is like clear sky in our case. But as you can see, this is another dictionary inside our array. So once we access our array 0 object, we're going to access our dictionary key, which is weather. Then the value itself is another dictionary. So we need to access another key in our case, which is description. So I just put another key here, is description. And then I'm going to say string value because this is returning string, and our description weather type is of string. So we set this one and we move forward. I'm going to set next the current temp, and this is equals, and again let me just copy this first part because we're going to use quite a lot of it. We access our array, and then we need the temp, which is, let's see how here is it. The key is temp, and we just access this. Right, and this is gonna be a double. Say double. And we have self dot, and then we have feels like weather. This is equals, again, let me just copy all these, and instead of temp, I'm going to get my up temp here. Let's find it. This is how it feels like, up temp, and the key, the value here for our up temp is different, so that's why we put the different key here. And then we have our pressure, our humidity, so let's quickly do this. So pressure is equals, and let's just copy all of it because all this is double now. Instead of up temp, we want our pressure. Let's find it. It's the press short key here. Humidity, let me just quickly go through all of this. Wind speed, weather icon, and UV, sunrise, and finally our sunset. I forgot an underscore here, so make sure you don't forget any of the underscore because we need to set our privates here, private variables. So let me copy this, and this is going to be equals page JSON first object in our array, and the key for my what is this, the humidity is RH. I'm just copying pasting it from my code because it's easier than locating it here. So this is our age, and it's the value is double. The next thing is our wind speed. Our wind speed key is wind SPD, and this is double as well. For weather icon, is different because again our weather icon is inside our second dictionary. So I'm gonna copy this part because we already accessed this weather part, and instead of description I'm going to access the key icon, and this is a string as well. So the rest we're going to use our standard JSON code here because these are not inside our smaller dictionary. So we have our visibility, which is short vis. UV is, the key is UV, and sunrise is sunrise. Sunrise, and this is a string value, and our sunset, I'm gonna copy this and paste it here and call this sunset. These keys are very important, you get them right, otherwise your application can crash, because if our JSON doesn't find the key, the value will be set to nil. So make sure you get the key. Best way is to copy and paste them. So once we are done, we should be able to access our variables there. But before we can do them, we need to fix one thing here in our function, because remember this is in our background thread. So if I go here and go to my weather view controller here, say let current weather is equals, and then I say current weather and instantiate it, and then I access my current weather dot let's say city, and if I want to print this, what I will get now if I run my application, let's stop this. If I run my application, I will not get anything. I will get an empty string in my printout here. Actually, we don't even see it because, let's say, city is, now if I run, we will see that we don't get any city name. See, city is, and there is nothing here, because it comes to our current class here, current weather class. It asks for our city, and our city is nil at the moment it asks, and it is just returning an empty string. But if I say here print, I can access the city here. If I say print, and let's put a ready city is, and if I run my application, I need self here, self city, and if I run my application, you will see that in our view controller, first it will print city is, and after some time, once our code is downloaded, let's see, print ready city. Let's print the JSON to see if we are getting anything. Oh, my bad. We are not calling this function in any way. That's why we're not getting it. So yeah, that was funny. So let's comment out. We need to call this function. I say current weather dot get current weather. So let's run our code. And it says city is, and we return nothing. And after some time, it says ready city is, and it returns my city name. So you can see this part here is called before we even receive and get our data out. So what we need is a way so that our function here can notify us as soon as it has downloaded and it has ready all the information, so it can provide us with its class variables. So what we need to do is to have a callback here. I'm going to call this completion, and this is going to be escaping, and we are going to return success here. So I'm going to put underscore success is my variable name, and it's gonna be a boolean, and this has no return value, so we put void here. So every time our class is ready with downloaded information, I'm going to call my completion block here and inform whoever is calling my class function here. It's not class function, this is function in my class. So whoever is calling this function should be notified that the information downloaded is ready to be used. So instead of putting ready, I'm going to put here completion. I'm going to pass through because it was successful. And else here, when we don't have any information, again, we want to tell whoever is calling this function that it was false, so the download was unsuccessful. So now if we go to our view controller here, of course this, if I say command P, will not compile because now we need to update our class call function here. So we have a completion, and in completion, if I just hit enter on it, just get rid of this weather, and if I hit enter on it, it will give me an option to choose my variable name, and I'm going to call this success. And this part of the code will be run only after we receive our callback here. So I'm going to say if success, so if the information was successful, we are going to cut this and put our print city name there. And if I run my application now, you should see that I receive my city name here properly. City name Nicosia, because our information is ready. And let's say if I put a comma here and say like current weather, and I want to access, let's say, the temperature. If I run this, it will not give me only the city, but it will give me also the current temperature of my city, which is 9.5 Celsius. So this way we take our JSON that we receive from our weather API, and we create a nice class with proper variables which we can access. And all of this information is available through our class now for our current weather. So we can use our current weather in order to display the information of our current location's weather.